welcome back to the Food for Thought. Now, 2 Corinthians 9:10 through 11 suggests a relationship between sowing seed and bearing the fruit of righteousness. Think about what that means. Do you believe our ability to exhibit the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control, is tied to our stewardship? Do you think it's tied to having a cheerful heart? I definitely think that it is tied to our stewardship because you kind of have to be a good steward of the things, of the seeds that you have. You got to be a good steward of your finances in order to really, show that righteousness, in order to benefit from what God is wanting to bless you with. You got to be disciplined and a good steward. You got to take care of the things that God has entrusted you with. So I think that that builds that discipline, and that also builds those, those qualities, those fruit of the Spirit. So you will be able to bear the fruit of righteousness when you are sowing the seeds of righteousness, you know what I mean? And you're being disciplined and being a good steward of what you have. So I think they kind of all do go hand in hand. And I think it's definitely tied to having a cheerful heart, because you have to have love and joy and peace in your heart in order, you have to practice it. It's something that you practice. So if you're continually practicing it, you're being a good steward of it, and that stewardship is building that cheerfulness in your heart. So it all ties together to me. What do you think? Do you think that the fruit of the Spirit, or bearing the fruit of righteousness, is because of sowing good seed? I think it's about practice. But what do you think? Because I love to hear what you all think about sowing seed and then bearing fruit of righteousness. And what fruit have you seen grow in your life? What fruit of the Spirit do you see that you're working on, or do you see that God is really helping you to grow and to be consistent in your life? Because some of them we're not perfect, and so some of the fruit of the Spirit we're not going to be 100% at. But it's always good to just ask God and seek God for help in growing in those areas, because He does want us to have a cheerful heart when we give. And that comes through practice, and that comes through sowing, and that comes from being humble and seeking God for the right attitude. Sometimes we want it to just come, and if it doesn't just come, then something is wrong with us. No, you still pray for peace, and you pray for compassion, you pray for generosity, you pray for a humble heart, so that God can break your heart, the things that break His heart, so you can kind of see what He sees. You can kind of feel what He's feeling, so that you will go after, and you will serve, and you will give, and you will take your time and give it to others and use it for good. And those fruit of the Spirit, I think patience is a good one to grow in, because it helps you to know that you can't expect God to do something overnight. He's going to do what He wants to, and it's for your benefit. And also patience and knowing that your discipline, your work, and your seed is going to pay off. So there's so many things to get from that. I really gleaned a lot from just that food for thought, knowing that being a good steward is really, really important, and God sees that. And being a good steward in everything that you're doing, not just giving, not just sowing, but being a good steward on your job, being a good steward in your friendships and relationships, being a good steward as a parent, being a good steward as a child. So many areas where we can work on our stewardship, so that it will bear fruit of righteousness. So God will see your heart and know that you are, being faithful. So hopefully that blessed you, and that nourished you, and pass it on to someone else. Remember, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, send me a message or comment. So have a great night.